Hi, welcome to Loft Data 1. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about The Wild Robot. And yes, I know that I am very late to this review. This movie came out in 2024, and I saw it in theaters with my girlfriend, and we both liked it. Unfortunately, toward the end of 2024, I got incredibly busy, and then with 2025, I ended up seeing over 100 movies, so I just never got back around to reviewing this one. Given how I did a top 10 movies of 2025, I would like to do something similar for past years like 2024, 2023, 2022. Basically all of the years since I've started this channel. I believe that The Wild Robot is one of those movies that at least deserves to be in that conversation, so that's why I'm doing this review. This is an animated sci-fi adventure from Dreamworks, written and directed by Chris Sanders, based on the book by Peter Brown. And the story follows... oh, time out. This review will contain spoilers, sorry. The story follows a service robot named Roz who gets shipwrecked on an island and has to figure out how to survive in a world she was never designed for. She's not built for nature, parenting, or emotion. She is literally a robot programmed to complete tasks, and then the task she ends up with is raising an orphaned goose named Brightbill. And that's where the movie really gets you. Because on the surface, this is a movie about a robot, a goose, a fox, and a bunch of other woodland animals surviving on an island. But underneath that, this is a movie about parenthood, purpose, loss, adaptation, and the very painful reality that raising a child also means preparing them to eventually leave you. That's what makes The Wild Robot so timeless. It has the kind of story that a kid can watch and connect with because it's funny, colorful, emotional, and filled with animals. But if you're an adult, especially a parent, I feel like this movie probably hits even harder. Roz raises Brightbill, teaching him how to eat, swim, fly, and survive, but the whole point is that he eventually has to migrate. He has to go, and Roz has to accept that loving him doesn't mean keeping him with her forever. And on the flip side, when it's Roz's turn to go, those emotions and themes still hit hard because whether it's your child leaving or your parent leaving, life can get heavy. The movie handles these ideas with a lot of maturity, and I respect that. At the heart of these ideas and themes is the relationship between Roz and Brightbill. It's sweet, but not overly sugary. There's even some conflict. Roz accidentally killed Brightbill's family before he was ever born, and when he finds out, it hurts. It complicates their relationship. It makes Brightbill question who she is, and it makes Roz question whether she was ever really capable of being what he needed. For a movie about a robot goose mom, that is pretty emotionally heavy. But what I really liked is that the movie doesn't treat Roz's love as artificial simply because she's a robot. That's probably my favorite idea of the whole film. The idea that purpose, love, and caring for someone can become so powerful that they transcend programming. They transcend ones and zeros. Roz starts as a machine looking for a task, and by the end, she's become someone who chooses love, family, and sacrifice. That is beautiful. The voice acting is also a huge part of why this movie works. Lupita Nyong'o's performance as Roz is really good. She has the robotic quality, obviously, but she has warmth. Her voice is strong, but it's also soft. There's a caring, motherly tone that slowly comes through more and more as the movie goes on, making Roz feel like she's learning emotion in her own way. Pedro Pascal as Fink is also great. Fink has that sly, sneaky fox energy, which fits perfectly because, I mean, he's a fox. When I think of foxes, I think of something a little clever, a little sneaky, a little tricky, and Pedro Pascal brings that without making him annoying. Kitconner is also really good as Brightbill. He gives him a young, energetic, and insecure quality. Brightbill is trying to figure out who he is, where he belongs, and why the other geese look at him differently, and I thought that worked really well. The supporting characters are also a big part of why the island feels so alive. Pinktail the possum has that tired mother energy where she's basically like, yeah, parenting is chaos, good luck. Longneck has that older, stricter, almost soldier-like leader quality. Thorn the bear starts as a big aggressive threat, but even he has a role in the island eventually coming together. Every animal has a little personality, and that matters because it makes them all feel like a community. And I'll be honest, I have a soft spot for movies with anthropomorphic animal characters. I grew up reading the Redwall books, and because of the amazing writing, those stories with different animals, different personalities, different groups, and different little societies really stuck with me. So when a movie like this builds a world where all of the creatures have distinct little personalities, it really works for me. It's kind of the same reason why something like Zootopia works for me. I like it when animal characters can represent different perspectives, different instincts, different cultures, and different ways of moving through the world. Not in a forced way, but in a way that makes the world feel a little less flat. The real world is not one gigantic blob of people. Everyone is different with instincts, personalities, fears, and experiences. And The Wild Robot taps into that really well. Visually, this movie is stunning. I know that word gets thrown around a lot with animated movies, especially by me, but this is genuinely one of the best looking DreamWorks movies. The movie has a vibrant, painterly watercolor style where almost every frame feels like a moving illustration. It doesn't look overly polished because it has texture, softness, and a wild, unkempt beauty that fits the island perfectly. And that's one of the reasons why I've been so impressed with DreamWorks over the last couple of years. Between Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, The Wild Robot, Dogman, and even movies like Kung Fu Panda 4 and How to Train Your Dragon, I feel like DreamWorks has been doing a lot of interesting work. They're not all perfect, but there is at least a sense of visual identity in each of these movies. So that makes me excited for this year's Forgotten Island. The score is also fantastic. Kris Bowers did a great job here. The music has a sweeping, emotional quality that supports the movie without ever overwhelming it. I know I say that all the time, but during the nature scenes, it adds wonder. During the danger scenes, it gives the movie urgency, and during the moments where Roz and Brightbill are learning from each other, it helps bring out the emotions, which I did tear up. I would like to sit here and say that I didn't, but I did. When I saw this in theaters with my girlfriend, I know that she teared up too. There are just certain moments in this movie that hit you. Brightbill leaving, Roz realizing she misses him, Roz choosing to protect the island, and the ending where she returns to universal dynamics but still keeps her memories. It's all emotional without feeling cheap. The pacing is also really strong. The movie is an hour and 42 minutes and it moves very quickly. It doesn't feel rushed, but it doesn't drag. It gives you enough time to understand Roz, Brightbill, Fink, the island, the migration, and the universal dynamics threat without overstaying its welcome. And on that note, I liked that the movie escalates naturally. It starts with Roz just trying to complete tasks and survive. Then it becomes about raising Brightbill. Then it becomes about the island community. And then it becomes about Roz having to choose between returning to where she came from or protecting the place that made her more than just a machine. That clean emotional progression is what makes the pacing of this movie amazing. The Wild Robot is a beautiful animated movie and one of DreamWorks' best films. It has incredible visuals, great voice acting, a wonderful score, strong pacing, and a story that feels simple on the surface but is surprisingly rich underneath. I love how this movie takes something artificial like a robot and uses her to tell one of the most human stories imaginable. Learning how to care for someone, learning how to let them go, and realizing that love can change your purpose entirely. It reminded me a little bit of The Iron Giant, a little bit of Bambi, and a little bit of Robot Dreams. The Wild Robot is sweet, emotional, gorgeous to look at, and the kind of family movie that can earn your tears. So yeah, if you somehow still have not watched this movie, definitely check it out. For me, The Wild Robot is one of those animated movies that proves great storytelling does not need to be complicated. Sometimes all you need is a robot, a goose, a fox, and a story with a real heart. Thank you for listening to my review of The Wild Robot. If you enjoyed the review, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the review, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.